Outer Banks Season 5 is coming sometime in 2026, so if you need a little refresher before the final season, this is for you. To cover all my bases, I'm going to give a brief overview of every season so far and hit the important plot points, so grab a snack, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Season 1 of Outer Banks begins on an island divided by class, the rich kooks and the working class pogues. At the center of the story is John B. Rutledge, a pogue whose father, Big John, vanished months earlier while searching for the legendary treasure of the Royal Merchant, a shipwreck said to be carrying $400 million in gold. After a hurricane, John B. and his best friends JJ, Pope, and Kiara find a sunken boat containing clues tied to Big John, motel keys, and his compass. The compass leads them to a mausoleum where Big John left John B. a package with a tape recording and coordinates to the wreck, where they discover the gold is already gone. There's also men with guns after them and the treasure. At the same time, John B. falls for Sarah Cameron, rich kook princess and daughter of powerful businessman Ward Cameron. Together, they uncover that Denmark Tanny, a formerly enslaved man tied to the shipwreck, may have hidden the gold before the wreck. Sarah joining the Pogues causes issues with Kiara, who distrusts her at first because they used to be best friends, but the two repair their friendship. We also get to know the emotional wrecking ball that is JJ Maybank, who deals with an abusive father and constantly sacrifices himself for his friends. Pope is the brains of the crew, trying to balance loyalty with a future beyond the island. Eventually, the Pogues realize the gold has been hidden under Tanny Hill, the Cameron estate, the whole time. But then the truth drops. Sarah's dad, Ward, killed Big John during an argument over the treasure, stole the map, and covered it all up. But Big John survived long enough to hide clues for John B. As John B tries to expose him, Ward steals the gold and prepares to flee. Sheriff Peterkin moves to arrest him, but Ward's unstable son, Rafe, shoots her dead, and John B gets framed for it. The final becomes a manhunt as the Pogues scramble to save John B. Sarah turns against her family and chooses John B. The two try escaping on a boat during a storm, while John B exposes Ward over the police radio, but John B and Sarah are presumed dead when their boat capsizes. The final twist, they survived and are rescued by a ship heading to the Bahamas, where Ward already sent the gold. Season 2 begins with everyone believing John B and Sarah died at sea, while they're actually surviving in the Bahamas, trying to steal back Ward's gold. Back home, JJ, Pope, and Kiara learn that John B is alive as he contacts them, and they focus on clearing his name for Sheriff Peterkin's murder. They uncover evidence that Rafe was the real killer, but Ward keeps murdering witnesses and covering everything up. In the Bahamas, John B and Sarah try reclaiming the gold, but Sarah gets shot by Rafe, survives emergency surgery, and the pair escapes with help from Cleo, a street-smart local who becomes a major new ally. Meanwhile, Pope gets pulled into a new mystery when Carla Limbry reveals he's descended from Denmark Tanny. She wants a relic called the Denmark Key, which leads to a second treasure, the Cross of Santo Domingo, a giant gold cross with a healing shroud inside. John B returns home but is arrested for Peterkin's murder. Ward manipulates the case and even tries having him killed in jail, but eventually evidence starts exposing Rafe. Cornered, Ward confesses and fakes his own death in a boat explosion and escapes consequences. The Pogues continue chasing the cross, solving clues tied to Pope's family history. They eventually recover it in an old church, only for Rafe and Limbry's men to steal it. The finale takes place on a cargo ship where the Camerons try transporting the cross away. The Pogues board the ship to steal it back. Ward's fake death is exposed, and Sarah fully rejects him, which leads him to attack her. A+ parenting. John B saves her, and the Pogues manage to reclaim the cross, but Pope decides he'd rather lose the treasure than let the Camerons keep it, so he drops it in the ocean. The Pogues escape in a lifeboat and wash ashore on a deserted island together. Also, Rafe catches the cross all by himself. And the final plot twist, Big John is alive and working with Limbry. Season 3 opens with the Pogues stranded on a deserted island they named Pogelandia. Rescue quickly turns into another trap when treasure hunter Carlos Singh tries capturing them, launching the next treasure hunt, El Dorado. John B reunites with his father, but instead of a happy reunion, Big John is obsessive and manipulative and so consumed by treasure that he is constantly putting his son in danger. John B spends the season torn between his real family and the one he built with the Pogues. Back home, JJ loses more stability, Pope uncovers deeper ties between his family and the El Dorado mystery, Cleo fully becomes part of the group and grows closer to Pope, and Kiara's parents send her to a wilderness camp. Though JJ breaks her out and the slow burn romance between them finally becomes real. John B and Sarah have relationship problems when Big John disapproves of her and John B listens. Sarah ends up reconnecting with her ex Topper briefly, but she eventually reunites with John B. Meanwhile, with the Camerons, Ward tries to regain control of Sarah and Rafe, while Rafe melts down the cross of Santo Domingo for money and fights Ward for power. But Sarah wants nothing to do with either of them. As clues from Denmark Tanny's history, ancient artifacts, and coded riddles come together, the Pogues race to South America for the final stage of the hunt. In the jungle, they solve the final riddles and discover El Dorado, a hidden city packed with gold. However, the final battle turns deadly, a common thread in this show. Big John sacrifices himself to save John B., finally choosing his son over treasure. Ward also dies protecting Sarah, earning a twisted redemption after seasons of being the worst person alive. Singh is buried in a collapsing cave, and the Pogues escape with enough gold to finally change their lives. An 18-month flash forward shows everyone thriving. John B. and Sarah run a surf shop, Pope is heading to school, Cleo is with Pope, Kiara works with the turtles, and JJ owns a boat. But peace never lasts in Outer Banks. In the final moments, a mysterious man asks them to find Blackbeard's treasure. Apparently, these teenagers now run a treasure hunting business. Season 4 begins with the Pogues finally having stability. After returning with El Dorado gold, they buy JJ's old property and build Pogelandia 2.0. However, between unpaid taxes, reckless spending, and JJ gambling away their last gold nuggets in a dirt bike race, the group is broke again and desperate for another opportunity. That opportunity comes through Wes Jenrette, who hires them to recover an amulet tied to Blackbeard, his wife Elizabeth, and a family curse. The hunt quickly expands into a race for the Blue Crown, another legendary ancient artifact, but dangerous mercenaries led by Lightner and Dahlia are after it too. Wes soon dies under suspicious circumstances, another corpse washes up with a strange sigil, and the Pogues once again become prime suspects. Meanwhile, Rafe gets involved in some shady land deals with developer Hollis Robinson, but he bounces between villain and ally with the Pogues as he begins rebuilding a sibling connection with Sarah. Sarah, who also learns she's pregnant, forcing her and John B. to think beyond treasure and survival for the first time. The biggest emotional storyline belongs to JJ, who learns that Luke is not his biological father, he's actually the son of Chandler Groff, a wealthy and manipulative man connected to the Genre family. Groff is soon revealed as the true villain, murdering Hollis, framing the Pogues, betraying everyone, and exposed to have killed JJ's mother years earlier. The Pogues flee the police and sail to Morocco, chasing Groff and the final clues to the Blue Crown. They follow riddles through deserts and ruins until they finally reach the hidden site of Agapenta and locate the treasure. But victory comes at the highest possible price. During the confrontation, JJ is fatally stabbed by Groff. After surviving abuse, poverty, arrests, drownings, and shootouts, JJ is killed by the father who never deserved him. The Pogues bury him in Agapenta and vow revenge as they learn Groff plans to flee to Lisbon. Season 4 ends with John B. and Sarah facing parenthood, Rafe on the verge of redemption, and the Pogues preparing for one last mission for JJ. And that was Outer Banks Season 1 to 4. I started the show because of a JJ and Kiara edit, and I am devastated that they killed him off. I know there was talk about the actor wanting to leave, but I would have rather they ended at Season 4 with a happy ending, tying everything together. I wouldn't need a Season 5 if that meant JJ could stay alive and him and Kiara could be together. I know there's a theory that Kiara and Rafe will end up together, and I admit, in Season 1, I thought they were setting up that enemies to lovers, and I was into it. And even their scenes in Season 4 had a lot of tension, but I don't think it would make sense for Kiara's character to ever fall for Rafe after everything he's done. Her moral compass wouldn't allow it. I could, though. I see John B. and Sarah having their baby and naming it after JJ, and it ending with them all going to live happy, normal lives, and hopefully not still on death-defying treasure hunts for the rest of their lives, after they get revenge on Groff, of course. Like and comment your theories for the final season of Outer Banks, and subscribe for recaps, deep dives, and more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.